event may be too intense for young children, and it's not recommended for children under the age of 13. No costumes or costume masks allowed.
Hello, Meadow Flowers. We're back at Halloween Horror Nights 33, night number 2. We have 2 more houses to get through, and we got our reviews for you. We also caught the Nightmare Fuel show, and we visited one of our old stomping grounds for a sweet treat before we left for the evening. So with all that being said, let's go. Mike the Bee, the music. So we did get there a little bit earlier than we normally like to be there. We like to get there when the sun has gone down or is setting. So we decided to check out the Dead Coconut Club. The Dead Coconut Club is located on the 2nd floor of Universal Citywalk. So they transformed the Coconut Club into this themed Dead Coconut Club for Halloween Horror Nights. They've been doing it for a couple of years now. It seems to be a fan favorite and a good place to pre-game before you go in for your night. So there's no cover. You can get adult beverages if you're 21 or older with a valid photo ID. And it's open from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Wednesday through Sunday nights. Of course, that's nights of Halloween Horror Nights. So we stopped into the Dead Coconut Club for a little pre-gaming, and it looks like a lot of people have the same idea. It's really, really cute this year. It looks like the main theme for the main floor is the kind of like vampire-esque. There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of like bite me, kind of like a little throwback to the 80s, like arcade style. It's really, really cute. And then the 2nd floor is dedicated to the Blumhouse franchise. So there's a lot of photo opportunities. It's just a cute little like hangout spot, a good way to get ready for your night at Halloween Horror Nights. So the 2nd floor of the Dead Coconut Club is sponsored by Blumhouse, and they've included some really cute and fun photo ops from some of their most recent well-known movies, such as Freaky, The Purge, Megan, Happy Death Day, and Black Phone. I do want to mention really quick, on the one wall, there is some nods to the vamp scare zones from Horror Nights past. So if you're a fan of the vamp scare zones, check out this wall for a little bit of a throwback. Well, we made our way into the park, and as we were entering, Sinister and Surreal, who are the icons this year, were kind of in the Duality of Fear scare zone. This is a very small kind of entrance to Horror Nights scare zone. It's where you can find the Chainsaw Gang this year, but they were up there kind of taunting people as they were entering the event.
Body horror for the one of tormented minds. Come face to face with our duality of fear.
Seeing that we had some time to kill, we made our way over to the Five and Dime in the Hollywood section of the park because they were giving out a 2nd annual pass holder button. The button celebrates the 10th anniversary of Diagon Alley. I can't believe it's actually been 10 years since they opened this section of the park. We of course enjoy Diagon Alley. It's very well themed. If you're big into Harry Potter, the world of Harry Potter, you've got to go check this area out. It's really amazing. Alright, so we're here for our 2nd night, so we're going to recap our houses really quick. The first one was Monstruos, the Monsters of Latin America. With La Muerte as your guide, try to survive the night with 3 terrifying legends: La Upuchi, La Lechuza, and El Saban. So I did kind of do some research on the way to the park today to kind of figure out who we would be encountering throughout the house. The La Upuchi is a type of vampire or witch that lives with its human family. It is able to shape and shift and sucks the blood of infants at night. La Upuchi are born with their curse and cannot avoid it. They first learn of what they are sometime around puberty. Most are female, and the female La Upuchi are more powerful than males. The typical sign that a victim has killed by the La Upuchi are bruises on the upper body. The La Upuchi largely feed on children, though it can kill others. The legend of La Lechuza is one that can be heard all over Mexico. It is said that a lechuza, or owl, specifically a white owl, is a bruja or witch that has taken the form of this giant owl. Some say it is a white owl, but there are some stories and reports that it is a black owl. It is said to have the face of an old woman. According to most variations of the legend, the lechuza was once a woman who was wronged and now seeks revenge. El Sabon, the Whistler, is a legendary figure in Colombia and Venezuela, usually described as a lost soul. Some versions say it appears as a giant of about 6 meters that moves about the treetops, creaking and emitting its chilling whistle. Inside its old and tattered sack lie the bones of its father, or according to some renditions, its multiple victims. Other versions say he appears as the shadow of a tall, thin man with a hat and goes after drunkards most of all. They say that the Whistler can appear by a house on certain nights, drop his sack on the ground, and count the bones one by one. If one hears it, nothing will happen. But if someone doesn't hear it before dawn, one person in your house will die. So we got a little bit of backstory.
It was a little creepy. So we were going through this one area. So apparently it's like witches that eat children or prey on children, or like witches and children.
Yeah.
It was just creepy. And like when we walked by one section, the shadow window had like a witch, and it like snapped a child in half. And there's been some reports that the house is giving people triggers and PTSD, and I see why.
Should probably said, spoil alert if you haven't been to the house.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, whatever, we're talking about it, so you should know. If you don't know, you know now. Anyway, so I am half Mexican, but I did not grow up with these stories. So I did not know a lot about these stories, about these characters and what they do. But again, I mean, it's Halloween Horror Nights. It's all about, the fear and the scaring and all that good stuff. So I get it, I do, but yeah, it definitely is and would be triggering for a lot of people. I found the house to be done quite well as far as the scenery, the scare actors, like the costumes. There's a huge animatronic in there.
Oh yeah.
I thought all of that was done really well, but yes, there's definitely a huge trigger warning for this house.
I agree.
So the last time we were here, we used the attraction assistant pass special sign-up queue, and this time we can confirm the second location is over by the Illumination Theater, where they do the meet and greets during the day. So this has been a total game changer for the event this year, and hopefully they'll keep it and they'll bring it back year after year for those of us using this pass, because it's actually been a lifesaver. So the second house we did tonight was Major Sweet's Candy Factory. You're chaperoning a field trip to a candy factory when the free samples transform the kids into candy-coated killers. For those of you who were here 2 years ago, it was a scare zone, and it was such a good scare zone.
Yes, it was.
They were really utilizing the New York area. There were floats that were run amok. The children were going crazy. Major Sweets himself, and I think Miss Candy, I think it's the girl. You'll have to look that up. I think it's Miss Candy. Anyway, so they did a house this year. For me, the house was good. There's a lot going on.
A lot.
There's a lot going on. I had a really hard time focusing, and there's the little the red buttons that you can press to make stuff happen. I found one. Apparently there's more, but there's just so much going on. I'm looking everywhere. There's the scare actors. There's so much.
So this is going to be another one of those, what is it? Spoiler alert, and another trigger warning. So this house has somebody who's throwing up in it. So if you're a sympathy puker, yeah, it's gonna.
I missed that.
I'm a little bit of a sympathy puker, and when we walked by and the guy was throwing up into the bucket, I almost. Yeah, it was good.
I totally missed that.
That's like he said though, there was so much going on.
Yeah.
He missed it and I saw it. Like, and we're gonna go through these houses again. Like, so this is with our first run.
Right.
I'll point it out the second time, but yeah, like there's a lot in these houses this year. It's a really good Halloween Horror Nights in my opinion.
Yes.
Why you gotta be careful when you go airboating.
Alright, so we did get a chance to see the Nightmare Fuel show. That they're back this year. We were told they weren't supposed to come back, but they are. This year's show is called Nocturnal Circus. Step right up to a dark circus, a new nightmare that carries with it a sinister curse. Get trapped in a thrilling spectacle of pyro and aerialist to the beat of pulse-pounding rock rhythms. So basically, it's supposed to be another nightmare, but with a circus theme. I thought it was a little better than the past 3 years that they've been here. Honestly, I was really hoping we get something completely new this year. We were kind of told that last year. Obviously, things always change from month to month, week to week, especially with the theme parks, especially with the events like this. I was actually told that the Scare Zone Torture Fair was not supposed to be Torture Fair. It was supposed to be something completely different. So that stuff happens. So they are back. Like I said, I did like this show a little bit more than the past 3 years. There's still the fire, there's still all the other stuff. One of the things I told Will about when we were kind of walking over here, so they do the magic tricks, they do all the stuff that they've done before. But the kind of like magic tricks, the circus acts, I guess, they're not being highlighted. Like, they're in the back of the stage, and then they have the dancers kind of in front of the magic trick that's going on. So that's kind of one critique I had, because it's like, that's your main focus is that magic trick, and you have it blocked by all these dancers. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But yeah, so a little bit better than the last 2 years, but I'm still hoping for something new next year.
Anyway, so here's the problem with the group. The group is a dance group, or is it a fire handling group, or is it a magic trick group? It feels like they're trying to do too much. So, like he said, they've got this amazing magic trick going on in the background, but then there's like a dance troupe in front of you. So you're looking at the dance troupe, you're missing the magic show. Or you're looking at the magic show, and you're missing the dancing. That's really good dancing. It's beautifully choreographed.
Yeah,
I did kind of make the cheeky joke about, like, maybe we won't see their abs painted on this year, but they were. Then you've got this, like, they're dancing with fire, and so they're fire wielders, and that's great. But then the dancing is you're missing the dancing, or you're missing they're trying to do too much, and they're good at all of it, and they're putting all of it on stage at one time, and I think that you're just missing stuff, because just like the major suites, where there's just so much going on in the house, there's so much going on in the show too. Good show, but kind of missing the mark because there's just too much going on, in my opinion.
And I know there's people who are like big fans of this group. They've become friends with a lot of the performers, and I mean, that's great, that's wonderful. But yeah, like there's just so much, and I get it. Like, before, there felt like there wasn't enough, and although I think the production value of the show is a little bit better, the dancing, I feel, is a lot better. It's a lot more choreographed. There's a lot more story to it that I can see.
Right.
But yeah, like, there's just so much. Now there's too much.
And we're not taking away from anybody. Like, the troupe itself, they're great at what they're doing. Like, you cannot say that, oh, the dancing kind of sucked this year, or the fire was because everything that they're doing is really, really well done. It's just there's too much.
Right.
Less is more.
Less is more. But not too less.
But not too much less.
So there is now one left to appear. Millions and millions of judgment.
So as we made our way out, we had to stop into Voo Doo Donuts. Now this is a kind of bittersweet love-hate relationship with a lot of people that frequent Universal or just know of Voo Doo Donuts. We personally do enjoy their donuts. They have some really good ones, and it's a really good kind of tasty treat to get as you head out of the park. So they did have a few special donuts for Halloween Horror Nights. Unfortunately, the only one they had when we were there was the Mocha Mummy. It's a yeast donut filled with a mocha cream. It was actually really, really good. I really enjoyed this particular donut. There's a few staples there that we get all the time when we do stop by. So the Mocha Mummy, it was actually really good. Now, a lot of times when I've gotten the specialty donuts for the different events, I wasn't a fan, and I just would stick with my staple flavors I get. But yeah, so if you happen to be there and you want a donut, try out the Mocha Mummy. It's actually pretty delicious. All right, guys, well that does it for our second night at Halloween Horror Nights. We got through 2 more houses. We got 6 more to go. So we got a few more nights to get through. Of course, there's more Scare Zone coming up. There's more True Store coming up. Hopefully we'll get through some more of the treats. Thank you so much for following along on these little adventures of mine. As always, I am Mike the Bee. You never know I'm going to be. I'm just going to be. You be too. I'll see you guys later. Bye!